Hello, I'm Stani. Thanks for signing up to be volunteers on the Mindful Parenting course. So I'm going to talk you through what the course is about. Obviously, it's a 6 weeks course, so it's going to be very briefly touching on the main themes, but I still think that will be helpful for you. Let's start with what mindfulness is. So mindfulness is being aware of our present experience exactly as it is without any judgment, even if we don't like it. So that means everything we're doing, we're tuning into our senses, we're tuning into the body of how it feels, we're tuning into our emotions and feelings, we're fully present. But we actually, half of the time, we're not fully present. And what gets in the way is operating on autopilot. So that is when we do routine activities and we don't think about them. We're not present of the actual activity, but our mind is wandering and is going to all sorts of places. And the reason why autopilot is so negative for our mental health being is because when the mind is left to wander around and we don't even notice it, it goes to establish habitual routes. So if you're an anxious person, then the mind is going to take you to those anxious thoughts. You're going to be worrying about the future, ruminating over the past. So with mindfulness, you actually start to notice a bit more when your mind is wandering, you catch your thoughts. We learn that thoughts are not facts, so you don't have to believe everything that the mind is telling you. But this course is particularly tailored to parents because one of the main things that we learn straight away from week one is how to respond rather than react. So, reaction is this automatic, habitual response that just comes out without even thinking about it, and that's that reaction to a stressful situation, whatever that is. And usually this is when our children press our buttons and then we react straight away to that. Where response is a much more conscious approach, is a choice. You actually take a moment to pause and then respond in a different way. We're not hijacked by our emotions and reacting out of emotions, but we're reacting in a much more conscious way. So that's really, really important. And then the other very important element is as well to just cut down on the multitasking, because I think this is one of the biggest challenge for parents is when we have our children around who needs us all the time and then we're trying to do a lot of other things at the same time. So there are ways that we can manage this, but it's so important to be able to give our children undivided playtime or quality time where there's no agenda. You just give them that time and you truly with them. And that is so important for them, and they're less needy and they would need you a bit less if you actually make the time to be with them for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, I say normally, but of course it depends on the days. But if you have that as a rule, 15 minutes at least, I think it's a good place to start. And very important part is to learn how to tune into to what's going on with you, actually allowing it to be there for you, getting to know it. Even if things are difficult, it's still really helpful to tune in to your own feelings and emotions, to the body, to any sensations, because this way you learn to start to accept your present moment. You start to accept the difficult situations. And by doing that, we cut down on the secondary suffering, which we're also going to talk a lot about in the first session. And also, acceptance, it really is the core of mindfulness, just to learn to lean into those difficult times, not block them, push them away, which is our natural response to difficult situations, but also to our children, learning to accept them for who they are without trying to change them. And control is a very interesting thing, because when we control as much as we can, and we all do it, that's us not accepting it, not accepting the situation, not accepting them, and we just want it to be different, and we try to control all the time. But most children do not react well to control, so they either withdraw or they become little rebels. So just catching yourself when you do that, and tuning in a bit into your own emotions, why you're controlling, what's the need to control, that will really help. also very importantly is that we need to nurture children's authentic self-being as much as we can. And that really means just allowing them to be who they are, but also allowing that special time with them. So that's acceptance. It's very, very tricky, but it's with practice and just a bit more awareness, a bit more being conscious about it. It makes a huge difference. And I think mindful parenting is also actually taking care of yourself. That's so important because, as I always say, if your glass is empty, you can't pour out of an empty glass. So if you're so exhausted, overworked, managing many different things, you're less able to actually give the children that quality time. You're less able to support them and to be compassionate because you need that first for yourself. So self-care and self-compassion are very, very important things. So we're going to look into doing and being mode, and we're going to start to identify ways that you can be more in being mode. You need to tune into your own needs. What do I need right now to feel better, to nurture myself? So once you put yourself first, I know it can sound really selfish, but it's not, because there's lots of research that has been done in this area, and they have concluded that people who practice self-compassion, self-care are much more compassionate to other people, and they're much more able to help other people. But the opposite, the other way around. So if you are very stressed, you've not been very good at taking care of yourself, then you're less likely to be able to give to others. So actually, it's a win-win situation because you take care of your own needs, you feel better about it, and then you can actually take care of your children and the family in a much better way. So these are very important aspects that we're gonna learn every week a bit more. Also, the judgment, we as parents judge ourselves so much, and there are lots of ways we can actually turn that down and look into for the positive things that also happen around us, because we have this negativity bias when we are often tuning into, like, noticing the negative around us and just dwelling on it, but actually actively seeking out the pleasant is what counterbalances this negativity bias, but also noticing the positive in our children, because as I said, the negative we notice straight away and we most likely react to it straight away as well. But if we can start to respond a little bit more to the negative and notice a lot the positive, and praise it, make a note of it to our children as well, then that's a good place to be. Well, can't wait to see you soon, and take care. Bye.